Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science and Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're going to talk about space news 12 January 2026. So let's dive deep into it. So first, the biggest high-profile mission is Artemis II. Now this will be first lunar crew orbital system. Basically, you're going to take an orbit around the moon, and this will be the first time this has happened after Apollo era, which is around 53 years ago, give or take. So after a long time. And these four people would be in Orion capsule for a 10-day mission. Now, like, wait a minute, if you remember anything about Apollo, that missions were like, 3 days going, 3 days coming back, 1 or 2 day of buffer. Like, why the heck it's 10 days? Well, because they are doing something what we classify as free return trajectory. Basically, they are throwing it so fast, it's going to do a long ellipse and it's going to fall back. Like, they do not have to worry about any system going bad. It should come back without any issue. Of course, they are expecting all the things to work, but this is what you call double redundant system, meaning if everything works, awesome. If everything does not work, still safe. So they are doing that. Now, benefit of that is it's a very elliptical, so to say. So it's going way far out, as in these group of individuals, as in like these four individuals would be the furthest point from Earth. Like, it's further than what Apollo era did. So they will be the furthest human for a very long while. So that is there, and the first launch window is around 6th to 11 February. They have a March window also, and later last window is April. Now this is the first time I've seen in basically official NASA documentation. Generally you have no earlier than. They have seen no later than. It's like they are saying, no, this is the end point. It has to be done before this. So that's the first time I'm hearing that. So this will be a 10-day mission. Now be mindful, we have done this thing, as in like yeeting the capsule. Capsule has done this whole path, so we know the capsule will last. The only thing that was a bit of a yellow flag was during re-entry, the heat shield eroded a bit much more. Now of course it was overbuilt to handle that situation, but erosion calculations were off, meaning they thought like it should only erode this much, it eroded a bit much. Now again, enough was still remaining. That's the whole point of overbuilding everything. But it was like, why the heck calculations was wrong? Like, that's a very big deal. So they have done apparently all the fixes that is required. So they are very faithful to put 4 people's life onto it. And this will be real world test of all the life support system for 10 days, temperature regulation, everything for the 10-day system. Oh, by the way, the upper stage will also deploy some CubeSats just as an extra bonus. So this is Artemis II, should happen on 6 to 11 February if things go well. And yes, a rocket is physically moving from the building to, when I'm recording this, from window to actual launch site. So as of now, unless there is some massive mess up, it should be launched in February. Then we have Gaganyaan 1. Now be mindful, it does not have a concrete date yet, but it will be the India's first uncrewed orbital test flight. The craft that we are sending into space is done, it's finalized, it's on top of a rocket, and we're gonna yeet it. And this will be the first time with Vinay Matri. Basically, this robot would be sent there. It's basically a crash test dummy with a boatload of sensors. So this will be the first humanoid bot. Of course, you're not going to test a live human in it. So that will be launched on top of Launch Vehicle Mark III. GSLV Mark III was renamed into Launch Vehicle Mark III. So this puppy. And it will be done a cooking test, aka they're going to go there and stay there for 7 days. Now, like, why? Well, here's the deal. The space is very brutal in terms of heating and cooling, especially in low Earth orbit, simply because once you're going through the sun side, you're getting cooked. The moment you go into shadow side, now you're dumping all the photons, and voila, before you know it, you are freezing cold. So that expansion and contraction, that's a big deal. So in 7 days, they at 400 altitude, they are talking about give or take 112 orbits. So cooking, freezing, cooking, freezing, cooking, freezing. So they have to make sure all the seals, all the mechanism do last this duration, so to say. Because again, if you're just brute forcing everything, 1 or 2 orbit is not an issue. Most things won't even outgas enough. But again, after cycling them 100 times, now that's a big deal. So they are making sure of that. And all Earth-based testing, meaning dropping it, ejection testing it, everything has been done. Heck, the drop parachute test was done on 20 December 2025. We had a rocket sled, we yeeted it, and we figured out the chutes open reliably. And of course, that's the whole point of testing it. We are not risking a human life. We are testing the system. If all goes well, in a few weeks, I should be making another video of how this went well. So this is Gaganyaan 1. This should be a good mission. However, let that be very clear, the timeline could slip a bit more simply because unfortunately ISRO had a rocket boom event where PSLV went boom. I'm not sure why, and again, that's the job of ISRO. They are doing the investigation. We're gonna find out more, and they cannot rush a high profile mission like this just after 2 boom events. So let's see how this unfolds. Then we have a minor inconvenience in ISS. On 8th January 2026, one of the member of Crew 11, basically one of these 4 individuals, fell ill. Now, out of abundance of, again, it's not critical. It is not critical. They are not in very serious harm. Everything is stable. But out of abundance of caution, NASA is like, hey, let's just bring them back. Because again, be mindful. These individuals get like screened to hell before they are actually allowed to in space. So if something went wrong, something could be off. Now be mindful, this has happened, and given the fact that we have sent enough, give or take 600 plus people, once or twice it does happen. However, it's a very rare, and again, it was not even imaginable in the post World War II era, as in like the Cold War, that you're gonna crash the mission. Like that was not even allowed. Like you gotta be cooked there. Either you complete the mission or you do not come home. So this is a kind of a maturity of humanity as a civilization, where it's like, yeah, things happen. You can have the best diagnostic, best healthcare, best everything, and then still something bad happens. So they're like, okay, astronaut is stable, but out of abundance, let's return them early. Now they are shaving a few months out of the mission. So it's not like a small oops event. Oh, they were returning on like, 1 week from now, they return now. No, it's a more than a month loss. So that is a big thing. And at this point in time, they should be able to land on Earth on 15th. So if all things go well, on 15th January, you should see a re-entry of a Dragon capsule with 3 healthy astronauts and 1 unhealthy astronaut. And there won't be any compromise on ISS, because ISS will still have crew. So ISS will maintain its crewed record forever, as long as it remains functional. So this is a very good thing. The fact that mission comes second, that's a good thing. And again, the more we want to do space tourism, more we want to have multiple private space system, having this sort of flexibility is a really good thing. Be mindful, this system is designed to yeet everything in an hour. Meaning if space station falls apart, or somebody really gets injured or something very serious, no, we need him now. Yeah, it can be done. Like there are emergency escape systems. It's just that contingency crew return is like, let's expedite everything and do it systematically. So it's a good thing. We're supposed to be ready for this. This is like, yeah, if you're going to send thousands of people into orbit, a lot of them were going to fall sick, realistically speaking. So you have to either have such a small mission that it does not matter, or when you are doing like space hotel, you have to have a system where it's like, okay, let's, a helicopter escape out of it. So this is a very good progress. Like this is a maturity demonstration. Like, yeah, we do not need to risk astronauts anymore. Now we come to SpaceX. Now SpaceX, they're burning money from both ends. So even with a GG profit of Starlink, they are running low on money, and they are running so low on money that they are opening basically SpaceX to IPO. Now, if you know anything about Elon Musk, this is one thing that he was very sure about, that he did not wanted to open SpaceX, because again, SpaceX wanted to do long game, not a short-term game. Basically, Tesla is a short-term games, but SpaceX is a long-term one. And he knew full fact by law, if let's say they open the system, it's like, tada, it's opened, and now everybody can invest. Those investors will by default have legal authority to control what the heck the company is doing. So they are giving you money, so it's like it's not a free lunch. So the fact, again, watch any of the old SpaceX Elon Musk videos, you will get that. Like he was very clear on that. But if a rocket goes boom 11-12 times, it's like you can just spin it however you want, but at some point that number 11 is the big issue. So 11th flight was on 13th October 2025, and be mindful, still no payload deployment. It's okay, normal, acceptable if your rocket goes boom on first time. Nobody cares. Second, third, by the 4th time, people are like, bro, come on, at least deploy something in orbit. Even Starlink itself, but they haven't done that yet. And even the flight 12, it's also planned for like, ellipsis orbit, where everything is gonna re-entry. So you can stretch it however you want, but reality is this rocket flew 11 times and still did not deploy anything in orbit. Be mindful, the last big rocket that did this sort of thing only did that 4 times and kaput. The mission was kaputted. Falcon 1, which was their first rocket, that only failed 4 times and it succeeded after that. So This is unheard of in space industry, where you have a rocket that is trying to do things 12 times. Design is not finalized, and if it was any other company than SpaceX, everybody have just said that you are trolling. Like, you cannot say, oh, we took a contract for 100-ton rocket and it only does 15 tons. Like, that's from Elon Musk, not for you or me, from Elon Musk himself, that basically Starship version 1 was barely able to do 15 ton, because again the engine was overbuilt and all that, and then Raptor 2 barely does 35 ton, and Raptor 3 now they are saying that it can do 100 and 150 tons. I hope so, but if you're like, okay, how the heck their math can be off? Math is not off. All the math was designed for interplanetary transport. That was a 12-meter diameter, and if you understand mathematics, you understand the bigger the diameter, the less surface area you have per liter of fuel. So that is far more mass efficient. Just on the mathematics, you shrink that. Okay, now that was designed with basically carbon fiber, and he built it. Like, there are photos, old photos of like 12-meter diameter parts, but it was like, it's gonna be too expensive and all that. Okay, cool. And carbon fiber, he ditched carbon fiber into basically stainless steel. That was a dumb idea, because be mindful, there are 3 options: carbon fiber, stainless steel, and you have lithium aluminum alloy. Everything is made out of lithium aluminum alloy. Even the fastest manned craft that ever re-entered Earth's atmosphere, that was also made out of lithium aluminum alloy. The only successful so far, because again they have not reached it yet, with reusable heat tiles, was space shuttle, again made out of aluminum. And the only time it had a failure, it was a missile going on top of its wing, and again the heat tile failed. And let that be very clear, even if this heat tile fails, it will fall. If you have a wing edge and anything punches a hole into the wing, it will fail. There is no scenario it's like, okay, the stainless steel will hold it. It's like, no, it won't. On wing edge, no. On the flat edge, I can see that. On the wing edge, no. So that whole jump of like, and again, your engines are not that powerful. If V1 could not do that much, V2 could not do that much, V3 really hoping it is light enough where it can do that. It's like pushing it. Now again, can it work? Of course, let's hope so. Let's hope so. And that's the whole point of V3 rocket. They have done everything, reduced the weight of everything. Again, instead of ditching the cap, now they have an integrated skeleton structure. The engines are as stripped down as it can be, so there is no point of making V4 engine anymore. Like, this is the chemical theoretical energy. This was 1, this is 2, this is 3. You can't close this gap anymore. So thermodynamically, I think it's maxed out. Of course, they can make it more easy to manufacture. Those will be the upgrades, but so realistically, this whole project is burning money much faster than anticipated. Oh, by the way, delivery target was 2024, if you remember that. So on 13th October, 11 flight was done, and after they're like, okay, now we are finally at V3. This will be finally our thing. This will actually do the work. Yeah, it went a boom on 20 November 2025. The booster went a boom, most likely with some major failure, because again, this was a big event, big boom event. So that also happened. So that's why flight 12 has been delayed, and that's why you're not hearing about Starship often, because again, delays and all that jazz. So flight 12 would be the next big jump. If they fail to deliver on this jump, as in like actual payload into orbit with a reasonable tonnage, I'm pretty sure, of course, Elon Musk can create a hype that runs on hype itself, like Tesla. I don't even know how many of their promises they kept. Like, magical truck they were delivering in 2016 or something. Chase Barber bought the truck, like pre-booked the truck, and he's like, okay, it's taking so long, I'm gonna open my truck company. And he opened a truck company and started selling his own truck. It's like, that's quicker. So let's see how it happens. Oh, what happened to Rooster? Like, I'm not even hearing about anything about him anymore. It's like, did that disappear? Didn't he took money for it? So let's just see. So I can easily trust this hype evaluation value to keep going forever, but realistically, Artemis has what we call shrinking timeline, meaning China will launch in 2030. They have to make sure that America gets all the things done before that. Current progress of Starship is very unlikely that's going to be human rated and actually able to like refuel something 12 or 20 times before 2030. Like, it's very unlikely. Like, unless this Raptor 3 is magic and the whole design is like, finally we are really ready. But again, if they were ready, they would have said like, we are making Mark 1, and again, they would have directly made that. They were like, Mark 1, we made Mark 1, it's a 15 ton. Mark 2, it's 35 ton. Mark 3, 100 ton. That's it. And that's why every design is like, we are making it taller, we are making it taller. It's like, yeah, your original design was fully done. The stainless steel is half worked. And again, that's the last option they have. If that engine also fails and they barely get, let's say, 50 ton through low Earth orbit, the only option left after that point is switch to lithium aluminum alloy. Like, switch to it. Other than that, nothing else will work. So let's see. And again, I would urge you to buy the stock because again, he does have the ability to make magical hype. People bought Hyperloop, man. People bought a boring company. So buy the stock. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go up. Now we come to Blue Origin. Now Blue Origin 2025 was slow, but it was very kind. They launched 2 times and both were successful. Not only rocket took off, rocket deployed something in orbit. First was a dummy payload of their basically Cube satellite delivery bus. So that got done, as in like actual, it's in orbit and did all the solar panel deployment testing, if everything worked. And second time, they did a paid mission for Mars and it also worked. Oh, by the way, that second mission, they figured out how to do landing and that also worked flawlessly. So it was kind. Of course, somebody was hyping up Blue Origin. From Blue Origin itself, they were like, we're going to do six launches. I'm like, yeah, that's a bit high weed. But again, they are planning for third mission, and third mission they are doing direct lunar landing. Now let that be very clear. As of now, I have very good faith in their rocket ability to launch and deploy payload into lunar orbit. The ability to land safely on lunar soil, that's magic. If they pull it off in one go, that we're gonna throw something and it's gonna land safely, I'm like, damn. Like at that point in time, the end, damn. Jeff Bezos had deep pocket, just dime it. Like just, there is no point after discussion there. Let that be very clear. Like I can trust everything till that point. Like, can you throw something into lunar surface? Of course you can. Can you land it safely? So, oh, by the way, that's also a paid mission. Of course, let that be very clear. The second mission and third mission, they are not getting full cost of this rocket, but enough that it will not become a class action lawsuit from all other space companies. Like, bro, you're just burning unfair advantage and all that. There are certain rules. So having any money, $1 million, $20 million is more than $0. So they are doing that NASA CLIPS mission, and NASA is putting some sensors specifically for rocket plume management and all that. Like what the hell is going on when you are actually whooshing it. So they are doing, and Blue Moon Walker Mark 1, the bigger version is human rated, which again they are working on. If this lands successfully, that will give them a very big advantage in Artemis race. Let them be, Artemis has a deadline. It could be a reality where in future we look into Starship, and Starship was amazing. It's just that it won't be like, good enough at the right time. I know that Pearl Harbor's kind of scenario where it's like, they did got the warning. It was just 1 hour too late. So that would be the scenario. They have to make sure they land before China does. And as of now, if Jeff Bezos actually make this puppy land safely without topping over or without going kaboom, he might actually do it. So that is there. And not to mention, they have announced that they have a new rocket in the works, that is Big Puppy, that is directly Saturn V, more economical, that is 9x4, as in 9 engines on the first stage and 4 engines on the second stage. It's heavier, designed for deep space, and partial reusability. Basically, the first stage is reusable. Penalty, if you reuse the first stage, it drops down the tonnage to 70 tons. Now, like, okay, isn't that useless compared to Saturn V? No. Saturn V was designed with a different kind of philosophy. It was brute forcing everything. There was no option. Docking was very, what you call, uncooked technology. So what Jeff Bezos is doing is learning from China. What China is doing, they are launching 2 small rockets. They're not going YOLO, let's build a 150-ton rocket. They learned from America's mistake. SLS is stupid expensive. Saturn V is hyper expensive. It's like, let those things go, 50 to 70 ton, launch into low Earth orbit, dock it, go. No bullshit, no horseshit, no refueling 15, 16 times, just 2 launches, docking, go. The end. The end. The story ended, man. That's the whole point of this puppy. Design something that can launch, deploy, the end. Oh, and the booster comes back and recover. And be mindful, this booster recovery, there is a bit higher chance that it will actually done, and it will put them ahead of China's in terms of heavy lift that is reusable today. So that's the whole point they are doing. They are getting very serious about moon. So let's see. And again, if you look from that deadline point of view, like 2030 is the deadline. You have to do it before that. Blue Origin is moving dramatically faster. But again, let them land first, because again, anybody can throw anything to moon. Landing it safely, that's almost like black magic technology. Be mindful, China also had a hard time. So it's a difficult technology to master, that landing it. So this is from Blue Origins. So these were certain news events that has happened recently. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show mixed respondent. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.